Guys, welcome back to DeFi, Degens, Drip, and Farm for Poverty, where on this channel, our vision is to empower the impoverished by helping you find financial freedom through crypto assets. Please subscribe and leave a comment and a thumbs up. Hey guys, welcome back to DeFi, Degens, Drip, and Farm for Poverty. So today going to be talking a little bit about kind of the crypto in whole and getting some insight from a billionaire investor called Mark Cuban. If you're not familiar with him, he is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks and he was on Shark Tank. Been in crypto for a while, definitely a whale to follow in regards to what he's doing. But this interview is him talking about Ethereum, right? So yes, we know we are on the Binance Smart Chain and the native coin for us is BNB, but I want you to hear how a whale talks about what to invest in. And I've mentioned this multiple times regarding the community. He doesn't mention community, but he's talking about utility and how that is the driving force for adoption. And I'll tie that into Drip again, because that's what this is always about, is how Drip and utility for that can allow it to be very bullish in the near future. So let's take a listen to Mark Cuban in this interview.
If you are yet to do so.
What do you think about the crypto, future of crypto and all that?
I'm still bullish on crypto. I'm bullish. Obviously, it's way down right now. I mean, I took a hit. Everybody took a hit on crypto. So crypto divides into two different categories, if you will. There's store value, which is Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, I don't care what the maxi says, Bitcoin's worth what somebody will pay for it. You know what the maximum number of Bitcoins out there are going to be, right? 21 million. Mm-hmm. That's it, right? And that's a good thing, but you've got to have people who want to own it and hold it in order for the price to go up. Yeah. And what happened when everybody was buying it? Price went up. It's a store value. It's driven by supply and demand. I think it'll replace a lot of gold holders, people, who in the past have owned gold, and because no one owns physical gold, it's really just a digital transaction anyways. And Bitcoin's a better version of that than gold. Yeah. So I think Bitcoin's going to be okay, but where the price is going to go and when, it's just supply and demand.
What about Ethereum?
Ethereum, I like the best, right?
Oh, me too.
But
why?
So Ethereum is driven by utility, right? A reason to use it. Bitcoin maxis will tell you that there's the Lightning Network, and you can do transfers, money transfers around the world, and that's true, right? But there's a site called cryptofees.info, right? And that tells you how much in transaction fees the network is actually generated, so you know how busy it is and how whether people are paying gas fees for transaction. And you can see on Bitcoin, it's been going down, not up. Yeah. And on Ethereum, it's the same way, but there's millions of dollars worth of transactions that take place there. The issue is what drove the price of Ethereum up is people needed to buy for gas fees for NFTs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. And when everybody was just game over NFTs and everybody was going nuts over people were minting them, that used gas fees. People were buying them, that used gas fees. People were trading them, that used gas fees. And so that utility is what helped push Ethereum up. Right. Once, the number of NFT transactions started to fall, then there weren't any natural buyers. And then it was the same, play to earn, is not going to work the way it's structured right now. So you need something that's going to be an application. It's like if you think about the early days of the iPhone and mobile computing, and we really didn't know anything about apps, right? And it was just like, okay, what apps am I possibly going to use? Then all of a sudden, Instagram's there.
Social media.
Yeah, social media, bam, right? And now all of a sudden, okay, everybody's going to download Instagram. Every kid's going to download Snapchat. Every kid's going to download TikTok now, right? Yeah. Every kid's going to download even the YouTube app, right? And so that is utility. That forces people to use your iPhone, use the App Store, whatever.
That's a great way of looking at it.
Yeah. With Ethereum, it's the same type of thing. There's no app where you say, okay, we all got to use it.
Yeah.
That's what it needs. And it's not going to be like, okay, here's Instagram for Ethereum, or here's
how do you
Snapchat.
think that happens then?
Somebody just has a smart idea.
They create it.
Like more people got to
was driving it the whole time.
And
All right. So that gives you some insights. So I want to cover some notes that I took on this when I listened to it the first time. So the main purpose, and I've mentioned this multiple times on my channel, crypto as a whole is a Ponzi. Just get that through your head and then you'll be fine with everything else. There's no utility for it initially besides, like he said in here, Bitcoin being a store of value, meaning the value comes from supply and demand and someone and the wanting to buy it from you. Basically, the market dictates what it's worth. Now, granted, because there's a limited supply and it's the first decentralized kind of asset, everybody is quite certain it will be here and it will eventually replace physical gold due to all the other properties, right? But until it gains market adoption, institutional money, all this stuff, and more people getting in on it, it doesn't have any value. The value was created once other people started understanding the technology and paying for it, and that drove it up. It was originally you used to buy some pizza, right? So like there was no utility in it. That's why I always say community, community, community. The community brought Bitcoin to the forefront, and it got traction, and then it started getting adopted by institutional money, and now it's literally a currency for countries, right? So it's moved forward. Now, something to mention is that he said he's big on Ethereum because of the utility besides the store of value. NFTs and gaming is what drove Ethereum up. Ethereum is basically programmable money. That's what changed the game from what Bitcoin was to what Ethereum is, and the future of what Ethereum can be. So NFTs brought utility to ETH. ETH by itself didn't really have much besides it was trying to be a better Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is the best Bitcoin because it was created and left alone and nobody controls it. So Ethereum went in a different way with programmable money, and now we have NFTs and play to earn and all sorts of stuff that is changing the game for literally everything else that's left in our real world that hasn't been tokenized yet. So one thing he also mentioned is how when apps first came out, people were like, what do I need an app for? I don't see any app. And then all of a sudden the utility of social media came out, and then you had Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, all these social media platforms. And then now apps on the phone is like the only reason you buy a smartphone is to use apps. Nobody ever makes calls anymore or texts, right? It's all about what are the utility and apps on top of that phone. And that created more mass user adoption. So utility is what gives people a reason to buy and move away from speculating. So when Drip initially got created, the only use case or utility was to make money. It was basically a better designed ROI DApp or miner, right? So we've got some older miners out there that have weathered the storm and been around for a while, but Drip came in and kind of changed the game up. And then it allows to the sustainability due to the tax function and for people only to claim, 1% per day, yada, yada, yada. But that's really just a store of value and a transfer. Drip's only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. So when we get new people in, new people buy it, and all this other stuff, that was the initial use case for Drip. Now, like Mark Cuban said, we're moving into utility. We have utility in Drip. So now it is part of a greater ecosystem on the animal farm. It is also part of other people building utility where you can actually look at stats and stuff on your farm. There's other games being built, not only from what Forex is doing with the Piggy Bank pig hacker game, but also other devs are building games on top of it. Ray does blockchain gaming rewards. So the community is offering utility by using Drip. So it doesn't have to come from the actual Faucet. Just like I was giving away free personal training if someone used my buddy link and got into Drip. So that is utility. That is real world utility being added to it. And that's all over the Drip community. It doesn't have to come from Forex. The community is creating that utility within itself. And the longer it sustains itself, the more utility comes out. On top of that, we're lucky to have a developer. Unlike Satoshi Nakamoto, who disappeared, we have Forex, who's still designing and innovating. So Drip will go through cycles because of that. As you get old people maxing out wallets and making more money, then they'll take profits, and then Drip will cycle down. Then new people come in, and new utility gets added. So to go through these waves. But once it reaches a point of, like I mentioned in another video, where you have more than just 100,000 users, maybe closer to 1 million, you're going to see these waves kind of less volatile, especially with the lending protocol that Forex is looking to introduce. So even though these things are still on the horizon and haven't been developed yet, or haven't been launched, I should say, they've been developed but not launched, the fact that he's still continuing to build and the fact that the community is still supporting it, that's what makes this amazing in and of itself. So you don't really have to worry about it disappearing. That's the cool thing about it. It's on the Binance Smart Chain, and it is a immutable contract. Once you deploy it, it's there, just like the other miners, right? So those contracts are there. The minute someone comes in and puts money into it, it kicks life right back into that contract. So these will forever be there. And the utility that gets added on top of that, it's up to us as the community what we do with it, and of course whatever Forex decides to add to it. So the point of this was to bring up how investors, billionaires, whales, how they look at assets and look at where to allocate their money. And you need to adopt that same mindset. Can't give you financial advice, but like they say, swim with the whales if you want to make big money in this. All right, that is all I got for this one. Until next time, guys, live daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.